Have you ever felt like giving up, staring at empty promises day after day? What if one man's quiet wait turned despair into something unbelievable? Stick with me, because this story of a simple farmer might just change how you see patience forever. Picture a small village nestled between rolling hills, where the sun beats down like an old friend who's turned harsh. In this place lived a farmer named Elias. He was in his 50s, with hands rough like tree bark from years of working the soil. Elias wasn't rich, not by any stretch. He had a modest farm passed down from his father, a patch of land that fed his family and a few neighbors. His wife, Maria, and their 2 kids depended on those fields. Every morning, Elias would wake before dawn, splash cold water on his face, and head out with his tools. He'd plow the earth, plant the seeds, and whisper hopes to the wind. Life was steady back then. The rains came on time, the crops grew tall, and harvests brought smiles all around. Elias believed in hard work, sure, but he also trusted the rhythm of nature. The earth knows when to give, he'd say to his kids over dinner. They looked up to him, eyes wide, dreaming of their own futures on that land. But then things changed. It started subtle, at first a dry spell that lingered a bit too long. The sky stayed clear blue, no clouds in sight. Weeks turned to months, and the ground cracked like old leather. Elias watched his neighbors' fields turn to dust. One by one, they sold their land to big city folks, or moved away for factory jobs. "It's hopeless," they'd mutter at the village market. "Why fight what you can't control?" Elias felt the worry creep in. His seeds went into the soil, but without rain, they just sat there, silent and still. The first year, the harvest was thin, barely enough to scrape by. Maria tightened the belt on meals, making soups from scraps. The kids asked questions. "Papa, why isn't it raining?" Elias would force a smile. "Patience, little ones. Good things take time." The second year hit harder. No rain at all. The river nearby shrank to a trickle. Elias borrowed money from relatives to buy water from far-off wells, hauling it back in heavy barrels. His back ached, his hands blistered, but he kept planting. What if this is the year it turns? He'd think, wiping sweat from his brow. But the fields stayed barren. Weeds choked what little grew, and pests took the rest. Debts piled up like storm clouds that never broke. Whispers spread in the village. "Elias is a fool," they said. "Sell the land while it's worth something." Even Maria pleaded one night, tears in her eyes. "We've waited long enough. The kids need school, clothes, a future." Elias sat by the window, staring at the dry earth under the moon. His heart twisted. Was he being stubborn, selfish? He thought of his father, who once faced a flood and rebuilt everything. "Waiting isn't weakness," his father had told him. "It's faith in what's coming." Still, doubt gnawed at him. Mornings became battles. He'd drag himself out, kneel in the dirt, and pray silently. "Just a sign," he'd whisper. "Something to show it's not all for nothing." The kids stopped asking about the farm. They saw the worry lines on his face. Friends offered jobs in town, but Elias couldn't let go. This land was his legacy, his promise to the future. The third year dawned even drier. The village felt like a ghost town now. Elias's fields looked like a graveyard of dreams, rows of withered stalks, soil blowing away in the wind. He planted again, though his seeds were few. Each one felt like a gamble with his family's hope. Days blurred into one long wait. He'd sit on his porch at sunset, watching the horizon for clouds that never came. Loneliness settled in, heavy as the heat. One evening, a traveler passed through, a wise old man with stories from distant lands. He stopped at Elias's farm, asking for water. Elias shared what little he had. Over a simple meal, the traveler listened to Elias's tale. "You've waded through hell," the man said. "But remember, the deepest roots grow in the driest soil." Elias nodded. But inside, he wondered if roots could grow forever without breaking. Then came the night that changed everything. It was late summer, the air thick and still. Elias lay awake, listening to the silence. A low rumble echoed in the distance, like thunder, but he didn't dare hope. He stepped outside, the stars bright overhead. Then a cool breeze stirred, carrying the scent of rain. His heart pounded. Clouds gathered, dark and heavy, rolling in like an army. The first drops fell soft, pattering on the roof. Elias froze, then laughed a deep, joyful sound he hadn't made in years. More came, turning to a downpour. He ran into the fields, mud splashing his legs, arms outstretched. Rain soaked him through, washing away the dust of despair. "It's here," he shouted to the sky. Maria and the kids joined him, dancing in the storm, their laughter mixing with the thunder. But that was just the start. The rain didn't stop for days, gentle, steady, soaking the earth deep. When it cleared, Elias walked his fields, expecting green shoots. What he found was a miracle. The seeds he'd planted over those endless years, some buried, forgotten, sprouted, all at once. Corn stalks shot up tall, vegetables bloomed vibrant, fruits hung heavy on vines that seemed to appear overnight. It was like the land had been holding its breath, saving every bit of strength for this moment. The village buzzed with awe. Neighbors returned, eyes wide at the bounty. Elias's farm fed everyone that season, and the surplus sold for enough to pay debts and more. His kids beamed with pride. Maria held him close, whispering, "You were right to wait." Looking back, Elias realized the wait wasn't just about rain. It was about trusting the unseen, holding on when everything screamed to quit. The fields didn't just grow crops, they grew him stronger, wiser. So, friend, if you're in your own dry season, feeling like your efforts are lost in the wind, remember, Elias, patience isn't passive. It's the quiet power that sparks miracles. What are you waiting for right now? Hold on a little longer. Your fields might just bloom in ways you never imagined. Keep going, the rain is coming.